Hello, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Sean Felton, and I am here with four really excited Cornell students. If you are watching this webcast, you have been admitted to Cornell, so congratulations. And we are going to be with you for about 30 minutes. Myself, mostly you guys, are going to be talking about the student experience and what it's like to be a Cornellian. You guys submitted questions to us a little bit ago via See You on the Hill, and we want to try to answer some of those questions that you might have as you prepare to join us in the fall. We're really excited that you're going to be joining us in the fall, and we want to try and help with that transition in any way that we can. And a little information is really a lot of information. I'm sure you guys have lots of questions, and we are here to answer your questions. By the way, I'm off screen, so you won't see me. You'll see our experts on the Cornell experience, um, talking to you here and answering questions that you guys submitted. So before we get started, I do want to ask you guys to introduce yourselves as a part of our introduction and welcome. And let's start at the far end with Victoria.
Hi guys, my name is Victoria. I'm a senior communications major in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. I'm also from Queens, New York.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Maniloff and I'm a senior in the School of Industrial and Labor Relations from right outside of Philadelphia.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick Levy. I'm a freshman studying communication in the College of Agriculture and Life Science, and I come all the way from Pendleton, Oregon.
Hi guys, my name is Marcus. I'm a philosophy major and pre-med student in the College of Arts and Sciences, and I'm from Long Island, New York.
Wow, so Nick, you win for coming the farthest.
I do
That's
win.
great.
I'm very excited.
And he looks very happy. Keep that in mind if you're coming from far away. That doesn't mean anything. You will have a good experience, certainly, not because of where you're from. So let's talk a little bit about Cornell, and maybe the first question to ask you before we get into the submitted student questions is to ask you, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing about Cornell, Victoria?
There's so many. I think my favorite thing is the student life and student activities that you can do at Cornell. Coming here from Queens, New York, it's not that far away. But when I first started, it was kind of overwhelming because it's a big school. There's so many things to do, and I really had trouble at first trying to find my niche. But we have like a fair at the very beginning, a student activities fair. We can join like so many different groups and activities on campus. We have everything from like the squirrel watching club to like you trying to be a tour guide, or just so many activities and so many interests. And I was actually a part of the Big Red marching band my freshman and sophomore year at Cornell. Yeah, and it was great. It was such an amazing experience. Each of these clubs and activities and stuff, you are a part of like a really small family, but then it's also great because you're a part of a bigger Cornell family. And I really found my niche and where I was meant to be today. So.
And I really appreciate the fact that Victoria said that she is from Queens and she thought Cornell was big. That it's very interesting, but it is true that different environments mean that you have to acclimate and find your footing. How about you, Rachel?
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Victoria said. I think the student activities that Cornell offers are really unique. For example, I'm personally involved with Cornell Concert Commission. It's a group of students who just put on concerts every semester. So we've had in the past Bob Dylan, Billy Joel, Kesha, Avicii, any type of music. We have Common coming on Monday, and we do everything from selecting the artist to building the stage and setting up the artist dressing room. And I never thought as a freshman in college, an 18-year-old, I'd be working basically in the music industry. And it was a really great way for me to meet upperclassmen, from people from different majors, and would have never thought as a freshman I'd be sad that seniors were graduating. So the clubs are a really great way to make a big Cornell small.
Great.
I got my common ticket. Yeah.
I do as well. We're all really excited about this concert on Monday. Nick, what about you? What's your favorite thing about Cornell?
I think one of my favorite things about Cornell is it's like this atmosphere because of our land grant schools. Really like have this really neat culture and like all these different studies you can have. And I told myself originally when I was looking for colleges last year that I did not want to go to a small liberal arts school. I wanted to go to a big state school. But at Cornell University, I get the best of both worlds because we have the land grant mission, and it has kind of, the different studies that you have with agriculture and ILR and human ecology. But then you also get the benefits of going to a liberal arts school, and it's still part of this big university system that you have, and so you get a lot of benefits going to a larger school. Like they said, they have all the concerts. That's one of the really cool things about Cornell is that we're not just a small school. We're at a size where we can get those big name artists and like really enjoy the benefits.
Marcus, by the way, Marcus is our elder here on the panel, right?
I am also the tallest, so that's just. Well, I think I'm gonna take a more casual approach. I really love the food here at Cornell. It's probably it's probably the best thing here. Besides the academics, of course. Whenever you're in the mood for anything in particular, you can find a dining hall that has it that morning. I love chicken and biscuits. Like I'm not Southern at all, but I love Southern food, and there just happens to be a dining hall serving chicken and biscuits, grits every single day of the week. So I really do appreciate that.
Awesome. So my next question, actually, it's great that we're ending with you, Marcus. My next question is about clothing, specifically about Cornell-specific clothing. You'll notice Marcus is wearing a Cornell sweatshirt, and this is kind of an important question, but just one very quickly. Do you guys all have Cornell gear? Sweatshirts, T-shirts, hats? Oh, so you have one underneath. Okay. So I'm just curious, do people wear Cornell clothes around campus all the time, all the year, during the day, just on days when there are athletic events? I mean, I think people may not realize that there is a culture of competitiveness and sport here with the Ivies and even beyond, depending upon the sport. So do you guys have Cornell clothes that you wear?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm like the perfect person to answer this question. I have like a Cornell laptop case for my laptop. That's how far I've gone with the Cornell attire. I mean, it's just a big red spirit, and it's so funny because everybody has so much Cornell attire that when I'm not at Cornell and I see like a bright red sweatshirt or something bright red, I'm like, that's like, I think my mind's like primed that that's gonna be like a big red sweatshirt or a Cornell shirt or something like that. And when it's not, I get disappointed. But I think like not just at Cornell. I mean, at Cornell you see people wearing like Cornell sweatshirts and stuff on campus, but the most exciting part is when you're out of Cornell and when like I go home in the city and if I see somebody with a Cornell sweatshirt on like the subway or just walking around and I go up to them, like they're so excited, they're so friendly to me. So it kind of connects us to just the greater alumni network and a greater Cornell family.
Well, that's great. It's really the school spirit piece actually that's coming out big time, and there's a lot of school spirit here. You guys have other experiences with school spirit. One of the students asked a question about, what's it like? Cornell is not in a big city, but there's a lot of great space, a beautiful campus. Athletics are certainly a big part of who we are. Talk about school spirit. The hockey game with Harvard.
Yes.
The hockey game with Harvard. What's that like?
Yeah, well, so I have season hockey tickets, and so like I've been a really enthusiastic hockey fan. Like the student body on Friday and Saturday nights for athletic events, like they just go all out for our hockey games. We have all these chants and these cheers. We are ranked like one of the least hospitable stadiums because we're like so well organized. And like for the Harvard game, we throw fish on the ice.
Swedish fish and real fish.
Yeah, so it's really fun. Like the students we really get into it, and like we really have a lot of fun. And it's Division I athletics. Like these are big teams we're playing. Like we really get into it a lot. So. And to add on to Victoria's story, I was actually at a baseball game at this little small town on the West Coast, and I was wearing my Cornell shirt last summer. And like this guy saw me like from like 100 yards away, and he saw the Cornell, and he like comes running up to me, and just like asked me, what year I was, and like just wanted to know about me. So definitely like a strong alumni network.
Great. So speaking of our alumni, 250,000 plus of them around the world, what about the traditions that make Cornell what it is? Are there some traditions that I know there's a web page, and what are some of the traditions, or at least they could even be sort of highlights that you would want to like tell somebody if you had a chance right this very minute?
Ooh, how convenient. I'd say the Midnight Scream is one that I really enjoyed as, my first year, and I like actually done it from years onward. The first night before our big exams, we all scream at midnight out of our dorm windows, and then all of North Campus, where the freshmen live, is just inundated with people's like crazy screams, and it's great. I'd say that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, and to also answer a question that was just put up, there's an event called Slope Day at the end of every spring semester where there's no classes and everyone comes up to it's called Live Slope. It's a really steep hill and there's a concert at the bottom and everyone just sits on the grass and there's free food and there's little arcade games. And everyone just sits and enjoys the warm weather and enjoys the concert, and that's a really big tradition that's been going on for like almost 100 years, and that's one of my favorite student-run events.
Who's your favorite Slope Day artist? Or in the past 4 years, guys?
Kendrick Lamar was my favorite. When Kendrick Lamar came, it was so much fun. I just like adding off like of Slope Day. It's so great. In addition to music, there's also a carnival that happens like above it, and there's carnival games and stuff like that. And yeah, so I would say Kendrick Lamar. What about you guys?
Neon Trees was my favorite freshman year.
Matt and Kim.
Yeah,
they were great.
They were high energy.
So good.
We also had the Whalers one year. It was
Yeah,
it was
that was
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
And Nick has
Nick
a
has
a
Poor Nick.
I've yet to experience Slope Day, but I've heard really good things.
Alrighty. Let's see here. So we have a bunch of other questions, and maybe we should do these kind of like just sort of going down the list. How are the dorms divided? Which kind of sounds like, how do you get the room you get?
I guess I'll start out with this. I'm a freshman. I still live on campus. All freshmen live on North Campus their first year. Essentially what it is, over the summer, you will be asked to fill out a profile. And included in this profile, you talk about your sleeping habits, your favorite kind of music, your study habits. So then you get matched with someone who has the same habits as yourself. So you're guaranteed to get matched with someone you'll get along with. And then you also just put in your preferences. Do you want a single room? Do you want a double room? Or do you want a triple room? I personally have a triple this year. I love it because right off the bat, I had 2 friends automatically, and it was a great experience.
In addition to that, we also have a really unique thing called program houses that you can live in as a freshman. I myself have lived in a program house. It's a really great opportunity. While you do live on North Campus as a freshman, these program houses are specialized in a certain area of interest. So we have a Guego for people who are interested in like Native American studies, or Ujima if you're interested in African American studies. We also have an ecology house where you can actually have a pet and live in that house. So definitely when you're checking out, different like living arrangements at Cornell first year, definitely check out the program houses. They're a really great way to go, and it's really unique because on North Campus in the freshman residential halls, it's all freshmen, but in the program houses, there are upperclassmen that live there as well. So if that's an environment that you're into, definitely check that out.
So we got a question, and this kind of connects. What is residential life or residence hall life, dorm life like? So what's it like in Ecology House? What's it like in Ujima? What's it like to live in Clara Dixon or other places? You guys would remember, you're there now.
Yeah, I'm there now.
I guess we can all like go through our experiences.
And it may be that they want to know a little bit about like what happens, because they've never lived there before.
Mm-hmm.
So is it that you're in your room and you don't talk to anybody ever, or the opposite? So.
Well, I'll start by saying North Campus, where all the freshmen live your first year, it's very active. It's like a city in itself. So you have a bowling alley, you have an indoor pool, you have tennis courts, you have basketball courts, you have workout facilities, you have 2 dining halls, you have a cafe open until 2 a.m. And another thing is that the resident advisors, like they always have activities going on every week. So, for instance, I live in the high rises, and so the high rise community, we have events, we have weekly events almost every Friday and Saturday night going on in our sky lounges, and so like there's always something going on North Campus.
Yeah, in the low rises where I lived my freshman year, our residential advisors actually organized a few trips for us down to New York City. Like they bought the tickets like in advance, and they were like, yeah, just give us the money later and let's all go down to New York City, and that's exactly what we did. So that kind of opportunity, it was pretty cool, like having like something planned for us, especially like when we really needed a break from studying, right?
Yeah. What's also really special is that in every dorm, a faculty member lives there. So I remember my freshman year, I also lived in one of the high rises, and the professor that lived there is a husband and wife, a Near Eastern Studies professor and a Spanish professor. And once a week, you could go up into their apartment and watch a TV show. So I remember, I think the popular TV show my freshman year was Modern Family. So every Wednesday, you could go up into their apartment and watch Modern Family on the TV with them. And they would make cupcakes there, or chips and guacamole, so whatever. They would give you snacks every week, and that's really special because they would put on lectures and very like academic-y things where they tell you about what their research is, but then on the flip side, there's also like social things where you're just watching a TV show with a professor.
And also, there's an opportunity for you to do whatever you want. I was a residential assistant in the past, and it's such an open community. I mean, I usually leave my door open, and like a lot of students would come in, and we just chat and hang out. And one time, I had a student that came up to me and asked about, hey, like I snowboard and I ski a lot. Like I would love to like have the whole dorm go to Greek Peak, and it was like, yeah, we can totally make that happen. And we just all took a trip to Greek Peak, and people that never snowboard or skied before had the opportunity to take lessons, and people that did snowboard and ski before, like they were able to do that, and Cornell paid for all of it, and it was such an amazing time for just everybody. And it was one student that just made a suggestion, and they made that happen. So
Great. We've got a lot of really great questions here, you guys. So here's a question for a couple of you, one of you. Is a laptop necessary or critical?
I think having a computer in general. I think a lot of students take their laptop to class to type their notes out. So I don't think I know anyone that has a desktop computer, because the laptop is so nice because you have the portability to take it anywhere you want on campus. Because I think you're going to learn that you don't necessarily want to be confined to your dorm room just to work on your computer. You want to have the luxury of going outside or going to the cafe or just going to the library to use it. So I definitely think I would go laptop, but also the libraries always have computers that are open, and you can go into a library and like rent a Mac laptop and go, just go find some comfy place and actually use that. So definitely I would recommend getting a laptop, but it's not critical.
And also, we have like the CCC, the computing building on campus, that I always have something wrong with my laptop all the time, just my luck. So you can just go in there, you can make an appointment, and they actually run diagnostics on your laptop for free and tell you what's wrong with it. And in the Cornell store, we actually have a place where you can turn in your laptop, and you can get it fixed, and they'll give it back to you in a couple of days. So there are resources on campus if something does go wrong with your laptop.
Yeah, I'd say you're definitely paying for convenience of having a laptop most of the time. Like Nick said, you do have like loaner laptops available, like in the hotel school or in the libraries, but having to do that every day or maybe every other day, it gets a little cumbersome. So you're definitely paying for convenience if you want to get a laptop.
Great. So we have a couple of questions about activities, and one activity that I want to sort of draw out and ask about immediately is the swim test, which everyone is aware of now. While it's not an admissions application requirement, it is a part of the graduation requirement. So what is this swim test at Cornell, and what if you can't swim? What do you do?
Did anyone not pass?
I've already taken my swim test and passed. It's 3 laps. Yeah, 3 laps.
3 lengths.
Yeah, 3 legs. Yeah, it's not even a full Olympic-sized pool. It's really not challenging. And if you don't know how to swim, you can take a PE swim course and you'll be up to speed in less than a semester. So
See, I disagree. I came here and I was like, this is terrible, this is ridiculous, I'm not doing this, and I actually sent an email to somebody in like the aquatics department, and I was like, I have this fear of water, I'm not doing this. I'm being dead serious, this is actually what I did. And I came there and I met with the head of the aquatics department when I was there, because I was just so against this. And he was like, listen, like, I understand where you're coming from, but this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put you in like a class. It's a small class size, and we'll work your way up. Like you work your way up to it. And it was such an empowering experience, I guess, at the end of it, because I was so against it. And my class size, it was like 5 people in my class, and my like instructor really like worked with me a lot, and it wasn't like a pressure that, oh, I have to pass this, I have to pass this right now. And he just kind of like, kind of people went to the YMCA or anything like that. Like, it was so casual, and it was really great. And they're, like, really understanding, especially if you have, like, no swimming experience or you're, like, totally terrified of the water like I was. Like, they really work with you.
Great.
When I did my swim test, I met a girl online. We were both just sitting there, like, it was our 3rd day of school, and actually the swim team was doing their swim test at the same time as us. So, of course, they were so fast and so good, and I was like, oh my, I cannot keep up with these people. They came here to swim, but it was just me and one other person we weren't on the swim team together, and we bonded, and we're actually still friends to this day. So, something good came out of it.
I was actually on the swim team in high school, and like me and my friend who went to my high school, we actually raced during the swim test, so that was fun. Just a little tidbit.
So yeah, so the swim test is going to be a part of your life. So just we wanted you to know about it now so that it's not too terribly shocking if you didn't already know about it. And it sounds like it won't be a problem, too much of a problem, even though there might be a little bit of anxiety about it, especially if you don't like the water for whatever reasons. So let's talk a little bit about, so we're talking about swimming, let's talk a little bit about outdoor education, physical education. So is there a PE requirement?
Yes.
And I don't think people realize the breadth of courses that Cornell has with regard to the PE requirements. So maybe you guys could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, when I was looking at Cornell and I thought PE, I thought like high school, like dodgeball, like capture the flag, soccer, stuff I was not at all interested in doing. And then I looked on the PE website, you can check it out. And there are, I think, like, hundreds and hundreds of courses. So there's anything from those traditional things like basketball, soccer, volleyball, but then there's also yoga and Pilates and meditation. And then there's really outdoorsy things like caving and snowshoeing. So there's plenty of different options, no matter what you're interested in. There's something. There's Swedish massage, which my roommate did, and she loved it.
I'm currently enrolled in Swedish massage. I take it right now. It's a really, really great class. I really didn't think. I'm a senior, and I was like, I want to take something that's totally different than anything I'll ever do before. So I'm enrolled in Swedish massage. We have a lady that comes every week, and it's like 3 hours. It's such a great class. Like, she comes in and shows us parts of the muscles, and you have a partner, and you get to do massages, and you get to get massages.
Even better.
Yeah, and it's just such a great class. It's something that I would never thought I was ever going to do ever in my life. But I'm really glad I did it.
Last semester, I took golf at our golf course that's just off campus, and then I had friends that did they went down to Cuyahoga Lake and they learned how to ski on the water, and I had a friend that did the caving, and I have friends that are doing ice skating right now at Lionel Rink. So I mean, there's a ton of options.
Yeah, I kind of went the easy route. I did bowling my fall semester, which is a classic move, I guess, by a freshman. I did bowling, then I did marching band the next fall, and I'm currently enrolled in golf as well. So that's a lot of fun.
Great.
I know a lot of students that they take more than the required amount of PE courses.
Yeah,
because
just 3.
They're fun, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
You have to take 2.
Have to take 2. You can take more if you'd like.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I took one.
Don't take too many though. That's,
But isn't it a great way to kind of sort of balance out a rigorous schedule? So yeah. One question related to, someone mentioned band. We got a question about, what if you play the oboe and you happen to rent your oboe or borrow your oboe from your high school? Do you want to continue to play your oboe at Cornell? What might you do?
So I was in the symphony wind ensemble for a bit of time, and they do have loaner instruments available, and also our music hall, Lincoln Hall, it's just a great place for you to rent out practice rooms. Pianos are available, and we have tons of music groups on campus too that also have loaner instruments, so you can really find something that matches your style. So I decided that maybe like concert band isn't for me, so I opted for marching band.
And also, don't be afraid if you are not like the best person at playing an instrument. Like, marching band is like super open. I myself, I'm in color guard. We actually do have a color guard at Cornell, so anybody that's interested in that, you can also join that. Well.
Great.
How is the ice cream?
Oh.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes, the question was, how is the ice cream? And you just heard it's amazing. It is actually amazing.
It is so good.
It is so
And you
good.
can see how it's made. That's like the fun part.
Yeah.
You can go up to the observatory deck and like watch them make it.
Yeah, the other question we got just now is, how hot or cold do the dorm rooms get?
I think it depends, to be honest. Like, some of the buildings might be older, but I lived in one of the oldest dorms on campus. There was climate control for the dorm room, so it wasn't really a problem.
Yeah. Wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend like a fan. I mean, a fan's nice to have in the fall and the spring just because it does get warm on some days, so it helps cool it down.
It's good for
So there's no air conditioning.
yes.
Because in some places in the U.S., air conditioning is a given. Just like up here in
Heating.
New York,
Heat is a given.
heat is a
Heating,
given.
yes.
So, yes, okay.
Only 2 of our dorms have air cooling on North Campus.
So fans might be necessary.
And
Okay, that's great. So we got a question about how involved should I get freshman year? How many activities does it make sense to be involved in freshman year? And maybe it's more, tell them what you did freshman year and if it worked out for you.
So I think the typical thing that a lot of freshmen do is they go to Club Fest, which Victoria talked about earlier, and you put your name down for any club that sounds interesting. So that's probably, if we have 1,200 clubs, maybe you sign up for 30 of them, or yeah, that's what I did.
Well, don't do that, right?
Everyone does it.
Everyone does that for a lot of clubs, and you get emails, and then you start going to some club meetings, and then you kind of narrow it down. So this one was fun, but I don't think I want to devote my time to it, and this one I really want to. So ultimately, by the end of my freshman year, I was really involved in 3 clubs.
Yeah.
And so there is no magic number because some clubs are more or less time consuming than others, but definitely sign up for a lot and then you can just pick and choose.
Yeah, and it all depends on the route that you want to go as well. We also have Greek life on campus as well. So if you want to join our sorority or fraternity, you do that in the spring, or marching band as well. If you go to away games, and that's really time consuming. So it really depends on the route that you want to go, what your availability and what type of activities you want to do.
And I think when you get here in August, I think you really need to decide, take how many credits you're taking, and really try and find some balance. So find the balance between academics and extracurriculars, and do something that you really want to do. Don't do something because you think it'll look good on a resume. Have fun your first semester.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it.
Great advice, you guys. So let's run through some other questions, remaining questions, really fast, and try to get as many of them in as we can, get as many answered. Where's the best place to study on campus?
I study in the library on a consistent basis just because I get distracted in my own dorm room because I have my computer and Netflix is always open. So I go to the library and study. We have a phenomenal library system at Cornell. It's absolutely incredible. And it's a great resource.
The library
Which library, though?
Okay,
there
so
are 19 or 20.
yeah, we have a lot of libraries. So we have a lot of options. Like I study at Man Library. I like it because the computers, there's 2 screens, so you can kind of work really efficiently.
But Man has a nickname. It's called Club Man because it's kind of chatty in there. But if you want to go somewhere, more, I guess, intense to study in, I prefer Owen, in the middle floors, 3rd floor.
And then when it's nice outside and the campus is beautiful, you can sit outside in the quads, under a tree, or do something fun, in outdoors, study outdoors.
And my favorite place is in Catholic Library, which is in the ILR building. They have these little comfy sofa chairs, and you can sit and you can put your feet up on these little benches, and you're facing to look outside. So those are really nice. They also are a really good place to take a nap.
Another question is, what is a midterm?
What's that?
I don't know.
And when do they happen? Do they happen at the middle of a term, or do they happen at many times during a term or during a semester? It's kind of confusing, but let's explain that.
Prelims are what we call our midterms, short for preliminary, but they don't come before anything. It's a weird name, and there's a tradition behind it. But generally, you'll have either 3, 2, or 1 prelim during the year, and that pretty much determines how they're spaced out. So you won't have all 3 prelims in 1 week. It'll be spaced out every month or every other month, and it's pretty nice like that.
Great. We got a question about how many credits a freshman takes, and the question will probably vary depending upon college and or program, but maybe you guys can just each run down really fast and talk about very quickly how many credits you're taking and maybe what kinds of classes.
No problem. At the very beginning, they really focus a lot on the general requirements you need for your college. I'm a communications major. The minimum you have to take at Cornell is 12 credits, but you can go up until 18, and then you have to petition if you want to do more than 18. Usually, my advisor told me that I have to take between. She's obviously don't do less than 12, but she's 16, 17 was a good course load for me. It's about 4 to 5 classes your first semester. It obviously depends on your major and what else you're doing, but I really focus a lot more on those core general requirements my first year at Cornell, and not really so much my major classes. So.
Yeah, my freshman year, I chose to take 4 academic classes. I wanted to ease my way in a little bit. So I took 4 academic classes, but I also took a gym class. So that was my 5th class. And I think it doesn't really, the number of credits and the number of classes, it matters on your major. But I think what's important is you don't, jump in too hard. You want time to be able to go to all those club meetings, and you want time to be able to try out all the different food options. So, you have 4 years to get all your requirements, and you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself your first semester.
Last semester, I took 14.5 credits. And like Victoria said, your faculty advisor, they're going to recommend that you maybe take, you know, a few less, maybe one or two less courses your first semester, just like ease your way in. And I definitely recommend that. Like, you need to look at what your college requires you to take your first semester. But I'm definitely like, you know, don't be super stressed about taking a lot of courses. You know, just kind of ease your way into Cornell.
Yeah, personally, I like to stay very busy, so I opted for like 22 credits. But that's do not do that unless
do not do
you're
that.
me. But my freshman year, I chose to do 14 credits, and then I realized that maybe I could do more than this, and then that's the path I chose.
Wow.
And you have the ability to add classes and to drop them, like within a month. So
With no penalties. Yeah. It's not going to show on your transcript that you dropped a class. You do it by the deadline.
yeah.
AP credits. People have questions about those. Did you have them? Would you do them? How'd you use them?
I originally, I took AP Psych. I got a 5. What's up? But I chose to take Introduction to Psychology again here because I knew the professor was like famous and he was like super cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was like super awesome. So I was like, I gotta take this class again. But Calc, I got a 5 too. But I decided not to take Calc again just because that was a nightmare.
Awesome. And we're going to wrap up, you guys. You have a ton of questions. Oh, here's a good question. Is it hard to double major?
So to double major, you can only double major in your college. So for instance, if you're in the College of Arts and Sciences, you can double major, but you cannot double major across colleges. I'm going to confirm with the admissions officer. Yeah, so for instance, I'm in the College of Agriculture and Life Science. I can double major in any major that's in my college, but I cannot double major. I cannot have a major that's in another college, so I have to stick within my college.
Is it difficult though? I think it's possible. Like some majors happen to have a lot of overlap, but if you're dedicated enough and you're passionate about both majors, then I think it's possible.
And also just look into the minors that we have as well. Like minors are they're a really great way to just have like an introductory.
And you can minor across Cornell.
Yeah. So.
We got another question. Are there classes at night? That's a great question.
I took a night lecture last semester. I found out that it wasn't for me because I fell asleep a lot. But I think that
they're specialized courses. Like your general courses are going to be during the day, and you can definitely avoid taking night classes. Like they're usually just like specialized kind of things that professors are doing. So and definitely like a higher level classes.
And we have one final question about dual degrees. What are those?
I wish we had some clarification.
Isn't that when you avoid across colleges?
That is, I think the dual degree question is about, are there opportunities to get 2 degrees from 2 different colleges at Cornell?
It's like a unicorn, you hear about them, but you'll never see them. I knew one girl who was computer science through engineering, but she was math through arts and sciences, and that's a popular combination, but rare, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's probably true that you guys all have advisors.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a conversation with your advisor in the college that you're in about whether or not it's the best path for you to take in terms of pursuing your goals. Hey, you guys, we're out of time, but we're not going anywhere. We're just going to leave this slightly formal setup here, this sort of seated formal setup, and move to seeyouonthehill.com to chat. And we're going to be chatting with you for the next 50 or so minutes. And so should you want to ask more questions and want to learn more about what you can expect next year, these guys would be more than happy to spend a little time chatting with you and providing answers to you. Again, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you in the fall. Welcome to Cornell at this point. And join us on seeyouonthehill.com.
Can I give a last
You can say bye.
Can I give a last piece of
Sure,
advice?
yeah,
Okay,
one
so
last
as
piece
a
of advice.
freshman, I want to give everyone a piece of advice. Do not be stressed out about having roommates next year. Or like, I know a lot of people that were really stressed out about meeting their roommates and like having to live with someone they'd never met before. Don't worry about it. Like, don't be stressed out about that. And don't be stressed out by Cornell's like Ivy League label. Like, it's not as challenging as you might think it is. It's challenging, but it's like, it's nothing that you can't handle. So the admissions office accepted you because they think you can handle it and that you can.
They know you can handle it.
They know.
And with that, we will see you on the Hill.